Good evening, welcome to the Local Music Show. Myself, John Sinclair, and the wonderful Kevin Gaughan, who's been looking after this particular desk for quite a few weeks because of my work commitments.
Thank you very much, John.
So apologies for not being here.
But I've tried to hold the fort in your absence.
And you've done a very good job. Done a very good job. And coming up on the programme tonight, a mixture of stuff, really, haven't we?
Yeah.
George Simpson's got a big gig this Friday in Melton, so he's going to be phoning in.
That's the one he was talking about, wasn't it? When he was on
the show. I was here for that as well.
You were?
That was last month or the month before.
It was, wasn't it? It was a couple of months ago, a while ago now.
And he was here with Ben
Hartman with
right.
4 N's, no less.
Right. They were in together. Yeah, George's show is actually at Melton Theatre this coming Friday. He's actually got a Gary Barlow impersonator as well, called Dan Hadfield as Gary Barlow.
Oh.
So that should be interesting. And special guest, Howard Rose, with an exclamation mark.
Excellent. But and the fact it's in a theatre as well, isn't it? Sounds great.
I think he was saying, wasn't he, that he sold quite a few tickets already.
Yes.
So it should be quite good on Friday. So more to come on that. I've been to interview the lead singer of the Boobytraps.
Oh, yeah.
Who haven't been around for a while. In fact, I remember Jamie, who I've interviewed, the lead singer, saying that, you know, they were kind of splitting up and he was going to do something else. And but they've come round to the thinking, I think, that carry on with the name because it's a fairly established name.
Yeah.
And I went round to his house to interview him, and he showed me a video of the Boobytraps playing at the Cavern in Liverpool. Yes. There's another story that goes with that I won't tell because it's a bit personal to him, but he did enjoy it, and the crowd loved it as well. And they did a Beatles song, which nobody ever does, but they kind of got away with it. They did a kind of day tripper thing.
Right. God, but that's fantastic.
Yeah, so it was very good. So
how long ago was it since they split up? And it was
3 years ago.
Really?
Yeah,
blimey.
It's surprising, isn't it? Really?
It is.
It seems like last year, but it's or a couple of years ago. But 3 years.
Yeah,
it's a long time.
I remember their music anyway. It sounded really. It always sounded really polished. I always used to
think.
I
think so. And they've got a great new single, and it's a ballad. And and my other half really liked it. I thought it was extraordinarily good. So you'll get first taste. So I'll be interested to get your view on it later on. Actually, called Never Go.
Oh, is this going to be an exclusive then? A first time?
Yeah, first time ever been played anywhere.
Wow.
I've got another song called Falling that's not been played before, which is a bit more, as we describe it, style council-y.
Right.
Anyway, before we get into all of George and the Boobytraps, we've got a track from Creating Havoc. Now, why are we playing this?
We're playing this because we had them on the show a couple of weeks ago now. Or was it last week? No, it's very recently anyway. And they're doing a gig tonight. It probably was last week, actually. They're doing a gig tonight, Tuesday. They're playing at the Shed with a couple of other bands and a nice little punk band, a nice little punk number as well.
Yeah, it's very kind of late 70s sounding as well. And this is called Music in Me. Here we go, Creating Havoc.
Hit it off with one thing common, born to rock. We would unite in one vision that was for a world domination. Good riffs that kill and songs that rock. We like to party but never stop. We like to have fun and joke around. We create and have a with our sound. We're friends, they came together for one thing. One thing that means everything. One thing that is true. That music's in me and you. We turn electric, we hit the stage. It doesn't matter if we're getting paid. We like to entertain and put on a show. So watch your world, cause here we go. With friends, they came together for one thing. One thing that means everything. One thing that is true. That music's in me and you. Sometimes it gets tough, sometimes it gets rough, but I'll be alright on the night. Sometimes we fall out, sometimes we wanna shout, but I'll be
Creating Havoc, playing at the Shed tonight, and Kevin's pleased because he got that right.
Yes, I am. I wasn't sure if it's the Shed or the Soundhouse, but it was the Shed, which is brilliant. Lovely little punk band and a lovely little punk night at the Shed. Looking forward to that.
Okay, George Simpson's on the line. Just before we talk to him, let's give you a taste of the single we played back when he came on the show in early January. This is called The Bottle. It's out as a single. There's a chance to hear that live in Melton this week. That's from George Simpson, recent release single, The Bottle. And please say George joins us on the line. George, good evening.
Hi there, John.
How are you doing,
Hi,
mate?
Kevin.
Hi, George.
All right, thank you. Are you?
And I know you're kind of due to rehearse tonight ahead of Friday as well. How are things going ahead of the gig?
Yeah, really well. We're all ready. We've just done a quick. We just played a quick couple of songs, and then I'm just outside to speak to you guys. So. Yeah, we've got a few hours just to do the last bits and bobs, really, and make sure it's as good as it can be for Friday.
Yeah, and it was a little while ago, you and Ben Hartman came in to talk about it, and it's a kind of home gig for you. And I think you were saying that you'd sold quite a few tickets even back then, hadn't you?
Yeah, it sold out a couple of weeks ago now.
Wow.
345 people, I think it is officially. So, yeah, so it's really chuffed with that. So I can't wait for Friday. Seeing kind of a sit-down, full audience in the theatre there at Melton. Yeah, I can't wait.
That sounds brilliant. I bet the atmosphere is going to be wonderful in there as well, in the theatre.
Yeah, it'd be good. I've been there a couple of times, obviously, I'm basically organising the whole thing, so just to logistics-wise, so it's great just standing on the stage looking at all the empty seats, picturing what it's going to be like.
Yeah.
So, yeah, really excited.
I bet you can't see. I bet you, as the artist, though, can't really see anything because you'll have that spotlight on you, won't you? So.
Yeah, I think that'll be the case. Yeah, you won't be able to feel it. I think
is that possibly a good thing? If you can't see them, you can pretend they're not there, sort of thing.
Yeah.
A little bit like that. I'll probably. I won't have to see some of my friends kind of trying to put me off.
I'm quite impressed with the fact you got Gary Barlow, who's not Gary Barlow, there as well. This Dan Hadfield does a good impression, does he?
Yeah, he ticks. As a tribute act goes, he ticks all the boxes. With he looks like him. He's from Manchester, so he talks like him, and he looks like him as well. And he's a good singer as well. So yeah, he ticks all the boxes. So that'd be really good to see. And opening the show for a support slot is a friend of mine called Howard Rose, also from Melton, is at the moment on Tom Jones's team on The Voice as well. So it's there's kind of three different angles, which
it should be a good show. Sounds like a really good show, doesn't it?
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
And I was on iTunes actually looking at your stuff, and I noticed that the older album that I've got has it had a re-release, because it says release date January 2015.
Really? Oh, strange.
Yeah.
Yes. I don't know what's happened there. It must be the people who used to put my music on iTunes have made an error, maybe. But Yeah, no, it was 2013, I think it was. So yeah.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
It doesn't seem long ago, but
the new songs have been there or thereabouts for a little while now. I suppose people are getting used to them. Are they selling and people downloading them quite well?
Yeah, I put the album on pre-release, which meant people can pay for the album and get 3 tracks straight away to try and. The idea was to try and build up the sales. So when it came out today, all the how it works is all the pre-order sales all count towards the first day the album comes out. So so it bumped the album into the, number 35 in the album charts on iTunes, which will surprise me. I was like, oh right, next to like Damien Rice's album and a few others. So that worked in that sense. So yeah, I did that in the hope that if it's kind of higher up in the charts on iTunes, more people will obviously notice it if they're looking kind of for music to buy and things. So
and what
yeah,
about,
so it's going well.
Yeah, what about national radio play? Because you've had that before, haven't you? You got picked up by Radio 2 and things like that.
Yeah, the bottle got played on the Graham Norton show a couple of weeks ago. Yeah, and I'm starting to have quite a few of the producers at BBC Radio 2 kind of getting a bit more familiar with my name and some of my music. So hopefully, there's promising signs there as well. But
and actually, that's the most listened to radio station in the country, apparently.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I think that's one of the most popular shows on.
Apart from ours, of course.
Well. Obviously, yeah, closely behind. yeah. So,
but that's what you need. I mean, obviously, you're doing a gig in Melton, which is all very well. But is there a plan to tour at any stage?
Yeah, the plan is I'm trying to use the music and get it out there in the best ways I can to try and sort of raise my profile, and then hopefully that'll give me a bit more leverage to try and get kind of, a good booking agent to try and. Really, my main ambition would be to try and the next kind of stage would be to try and get some really good support slots for some more reputable kind of acts. But it's just quite, it takes a lot of door knocking and a lot of people turning you away on the way. But I'm quite persistent, so that's the next plan. I think I need to. Yeah.
So are you working? Are you then working on your stage show type of thing as well?
Yeah, it's really. I mean, having with the band, like tonight for this for the theatre show, it's kind of it gave us the. All the rehearsal time and practice time we needed. So this year, if as and when different opportunities comes up for good live shows, we're kind of, we're ready for them now. So so the launch was to sort of help with that, really, to get the band together, so we all know all the tracks and can hit the ground running now and for the rest of the year. So yeah, that's the plan.
Yeah. And the bottle, the single, I do like that actually. That's kind of, I think that's probably got some good airplay, as you said already. We're going to play another track called How Long?
Oh, How Long, yeah.
Go on, tell us about it.
Oh, tell us about it, yeah. No, it's one of those, it's actually one of the songs that I wasn't sure whether to put it on the album or not. It's kind of a song that I thought I wrote about 5 years ago, and I thought, yeah, I think that's strong enough to go on the album. Yeah, it's one of the. Not saying it's like possibly a bit of an album filler, but then everyone's different. Everyone's perceptions are different of what they like. Some people really like that one more than some of the others. So yeah, so that's interesting you've picked that song. So yeah, thanks for that.
Okay, well we're going to play that now. I hope it goes well on Friday, and then we'll have to get you on later on in the year when you kind of spread out across the world.
Yeah, that'll be maybe just stretched across probably more of Melton and Leicestershire. No, not really. No, but that'd be great. And thanks for thanks for the chat and playing the tracks.
Okay, good, George. Hope it goes well Friday. Cheers, mate.
See you, George.
Thank you. Take care. Bye.
Bye.
Think it's so hard to lie, so why lie to me? Gave up my pride for you. See, now that's all true. Now I'm wishing my life away, only to find that the wishes that I create are wasting my time. If the gone. So how long till the two of us become an illusion? How long will it take us to the end of the line? You're wrong and I'm being strong. There's nothing else to cause the confusion. So how long feelings go, it's gone. It's getting so hard to find someone to feel when I'm quiet and on my own. I miss that, I miss you. Now I'm wishing my life away, only to find the wishes that I create are wasting my time. If the feeling's gone, if the feeling's gone. So how long till the two of us become an illusion? So how long when it takes us to the end of the line? You're wrong and I'm being strong. There's nothing else to cause the confusion. So how long the feeling's gone, it's
Well, we normally like to plug gigs, but it's a sold-out gig, so we're just going to mention it, really. Joy Simpson at Melton Theatre, in front of, was it 300-odd people on Friday?
It was 345. Amazing.
We'll have George back on the programme probably later in the year, just see how the year's gone, actually, because it could be an interesting one for him, I think. So he's breaking through on national radio as well.
takes us to the end of the line. You're wrong and I'm being strong. There's nothing else to cause the confusion. So how long?
A local music show with myself, John Sinclair and Kevin Gaughan. Now to a band who have got back together and relaunched some new material. They're called the Boobytraps. Before you hear the new material, exclusively here on the local music show with myself and Kevin, let's hear a track that I always liked, actually, from years ago. Bit of an anthem for the Boobytraps. This is called My Town, and you'll get you kind of dancing about a bit. And we'll hear from Jamie, the lead singer, after this.
The rundown house with the boarded up door. Around another corner you'll see 15 more. Then you got the cleaner streets with royal names. Visit any city and it's just the same. The youth clubs gathering by the bus stop, turned away again from the local shop. Deluding mum and dad think they'll be home by 10, just so they can grow up to be just like them. In front of you I stand today, and I just got one thing to say. It's my town, it's my town. It's my town, it's my town. It's my town, it's my town. They might have bad things to say, but I was not dragged up that way. It's my town, it's my town. It's my town, it's my town. It's my town, it's my town. Pleasant little corners in this concrete town, but it'll all get messy when the sun goes down. Loads of shabby happiness they just won't see, 'cause they'll just spend another night in A&E. Stitching up the Warriors from Friday's fight, just so they can rook again on Saturday night. Best friends stagger on the trays on me, girlfriends blaming on their new shoe feet. In front of you I stand today, brave, but I just got one thing to say. It's my town, it's my town. It's my town, it's my town. It's my town, it's my town. They might hate you from time to time, but I'm just proud to say you're mine. It's my town, it's my town. It's my town, it's my town. It's my town, it's my town.
Well, great to hear that again. My Town from the Boobytraps. Jamie, who's the lead singer from the band, is with me. And it was great to get the news from you that the Boobytraps are making a comeback.
Yeah, we decided just after Christmas that instead of potting around doing bits and bobs, that we ought to just get back together and nail it again and move on.
But it's a different lineup. Just tell me kind of what's happened, because I think it's 3 years we worked out since I last saw you at Glastonbury.
Yeah, I think that when we saw each other at Glastonbury, that was that was one of our last big gigs, if you like, and we did the Cavern and so forth. We've got myself and Lewis on the bass, and over the past couple of years doing little projects and stuff, I found 2 or 3 really good musicians, and we gel really well. And it's basically, the call was made, shall we bring the Boobytraps name back? And it was like, yeah, let's do it.
And you've talked a lot about doing it for fun, and I think that's what you definitely need to do that from your point of view, don't you?
Yeah, I think when we were doing it originally back in 2012, I think it was, we were gigging all over the country 2 or 3 times a week, and although it was something you really want to do, it does get on top of you. So this time we decided that, we're going to be doing things a little bit differently, picking and choosing where we play and, what we release. And we're going to try and do more production side of things and release more on the internet, and then make the actual gigs themselves more of a good night out.
More of an experience, if you like.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we're sitting in your kitchen at a table where you wrote My Town. You were telling me the story of having all the lyrics kind of spread over the table and then on the cupboard and that sort of thing.
Yeah, well, that's how I write. If I go with it and I get an idea, I try and have as many verses, choruses, drops, middle eights and stuff, and then literally just go through them visually. And yeah, this is where we stuck the whole 18, 19 verses of My Town, which people associate the Boobytraps with as, our kind of big song sort of thing. And yeah, this is exactly where it was finally put together.
And I guess you're keeping some of the old Boobytrap songs, but you're moving forward with new songs. We're going to be playing a couple of them in just a minute. So it's a question now of kind of moving forward with the new lineup, I guess.
Yeah, most definitely. I think the main thing is being true to the Boobytraps. There are certain songs that, as soon as I mentioned to people that there's what do you think, if we came back, it was you can't not do some of the older songs. So we'll keep 2 or 3, maybe 4, and then it's all about moving forward. You have to keep the songs relative nowadays, and I think the time of those songs were relative to the time, and now it's time to move forward.
What sparked the idea to carry on with the name? Is it because you've already established on the internet and so on? I guess that's part of the reason, because it saves you having to, as you I think explained to me earlier, you don't have to set up again, do you, in a way?
It's exactly that. To bring a new band in at this point in, none of us are getting any younger. And because we've got such a good back catalogue, and we've got a very good name within not only the people that have followed us, but, venues and people like yourself, putting all that hard work and hard effort in to set a band up again would have taken a lot of time. And at the end of the day, I'm still recognised for that bloke out the Boobytraps. And why not go with it? You know, I spent 2 years after we kind of split just deciding where to go. It's kind of like the Incredible Hulk, just wandering from, you know, genre to genre, deciding what to do. And it was the easiest idea to come back as the Boobytraps. And it was probably a sit-down chat and a kind of a smack on the back of the head from the mother, I think it was, who said, why not?
Just carry on.
You know, stop being so... I won't use the phrase that she used, but she said, you know, remove that part of your anatomy from that part of your anatomy and move on, basically.
And we actually discovered we both got an interest in dance music. You've talked about doing, from the new songs, some dance mixes. You've got a guy, synthesised player, who's a DJ anyway.
Yes, Scott Hopewell, who's in the band now. He's in charge of the synths and the pianos and so forth. Fantastic production, producer and stuff. We've also got a gentleman, Paul Kirk, who does a lot of house music. And between them both, we kind of made the decision that because we love house music, old Hacienda stuff and so forth, that just for a bit of a sideline, let's try and do the odd remix. But then we decided, well, let's do every single song and put a remix out as well, just for a bit of a giggle and just to kind of satisfy our early 90s want for dance music.
Well, the song we're going to play next, you mentioned it, I didn't, a bit of style council-y type. You mentioned them before I did. Does it sound a bit like them? It's obviously not deliberate, but people like to kind of say, oh, it's a bit like that, don't they? I think.
There's that much music to choose from, isn't there? There's somebody's going to sit there on a piano or a guitar and do a song, and somebody's going to say, that sounds like so-and-so. It's always going to sound like something. But no, it was literally, we wrote and recorded this song before the Boobytraps decided to get back together, as in the brand. And it just turned out that with the different styles of synth and the different styles of guitar, somebody said to me that it sounded very Style Council, and then somebody else mentioned another kind of a Womack and Womack was in there originally, and but it was a song that we had at the time, and we decided to record, and now myself and the lads have revamped it a little bit, added a little bit extra, and there's a couple of guys that were in the band when we did it, or aren't there now, and so forth. And we just think it's a really good vibe, and there is a kind of 80s feel to it, but
Okay, what's it called?
What is it called? It's called Falling.
Okay, here's Falling then, from the Boobytraps.
You say not to fall anymore, well, I'll tell you the truth. I'm aware that I'm falling in love, and I'm aware I'm falling for you. I swear not to fall anymore if you say to. Whatever you feel inside, I feel it too.
Okay, that's Falling, Boobytraps, one of their new songs. The one I'm looking forward to playing is coming up next because it really surprised me. And Boobytraps, I think, kind of up-tempo songs, that sort of thing. And here we've got a really good ballad. And it's an interesting story about the recording of it because, well, tell me the story of the song, first of all.
We did a rehearsal and we just started working back on Boobytraps songs, and we'd finished the rehearsal, and as we were packing away, Scott was showing me this new sound on the piano, and he started playing it, and I just got my lyric book out and we just started singing while the guys were packing away, and we literally within 5 minutes had the song fully done. And it was a bit of a laugh, it was a bit of a throwaway song, never intended for it to be anything other than a kind of an ode to Sam Smith or, you know, something along those modern lines. And the lads were like, no, you have to record it, you have to, even if it's just a throwaway B-side. And
so jaws were dropping a bit, were they?
Well, not so, well, mine certainly was, because I've never had that kind of stripped down. You know, I write a lot of my songs just me on the acoustic, but as in myself, a piano, completely out there on your own, not really my style. But I really enjoyed doing it, and the feedback we've got from the song, you know, before we released it, and the fact that we're sat here on Valentine's Day, we decided to release it.
Because it was written for Valentine's Day, is what you said.
It was initially written with a kind of love theme in mind,
yeah.
Because of the lyrics I read off the sheet was a love song. But I changed a couple of them to kind of, if you want it to mean a love song between a couple, fantastic. But it was also a protection song, so maybe for a family or, you know, about holding people, you know, near to you and protecting them. And it just... We'd recorded it, and somebody mentioned that it's a love song. I think you did as well. And we just thought a great idea to release it as a kind of look. We're back. Just, you know, hold fire for. We're trying our best to get these songs out, and here's something for Valentine's Day, for the old fans. You know, we had a song called "Tell Your Friends," which was a slow song, but this is very much a ballad, stripped down. You know,
but the recording you did in one take, you were telling me.
Yeah, we did I think Scott did the recording very quickly, and when I recorded the vocal, I tried my best to try and just get as much out of the vocal as possible. So, you know, just a nice warm up, doing a few bits and bobs, and then just went, right, let's just roll. What happens, happens. You know, let's do an honest recording. Tiny bit of reverb on there, and it's pretty much me, which is a weird thing for me to say, but yeah, I'm quite happy with the outcome.
Okay, let's play the song. Just introduce it yourself.
Well, this is the Boobytraps with Never Go.
I can stop the rain, but I will break my heart to keep you dry. Stop it coming again. Keep you wrapped up inside. I can't stop the pain. Only those below can pull you down, but they won't reach you again. 'Cause I won't push them aside. 'Cause you said over and over, bad days will come and go. Not saying it will be over, never gonna go. I can stop the dark, but I will hold you close until the light, until it comes back again. I will make you my life, 'cause you said over and over, never gonna go. Oh, say over and over, bad days will come and go. Not saying it will be over. Never gonna go, never gonna go.
So Never Go from the Boobytraps, love that song, and I got great reaction from my other half as well, actually. So, and you know, she's honest, and she's used the word beautiful. So if you're getting that sort of reaction, then that's got to be good.
I'm more than happy. I came home and played it to the wife in here, and she sat there really quietly, and she's probably my biggest critic when it comes to my music and stuff. And she was just blown away. She thought it was absolutely lovely.
Now, gig-wise, obviously, like you said, you're going to try and do not too many, but be selective. So when's that going to start for you, do you think, in a few months' time?
Hopefully, we're looking at the summer. We don't want to come back, you know, we could very easily do the old Boobytraps set and leave it at that, really. But we want to be able to come back with something new, something polished. We want to try and make these gigs an event, as in, you know, bit more, I wouldn't say razzmatazz is completely wrong word. Make them just more of an event in themselves, and make the sets a bit longer, and you know, maybe add a few surprises in and so forth. So planning these things will take a little bit longer. So the idea of not gigging every weekend sits really well with me and the wife and the family.
Yeah,
and I'm sure the other lads are the same as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, we are hoping, fingers crossed, for our first gig to be a festival, a local festival, which we've always held dear with the Boobytraps, and fingers crossed we can make that happen. If not, there will be a very large launch night, let's put it that way.
Okay, well, I look forward to seeing you live again with the new lineup. It'll be quite exciting, actually. So keep us in touch with what you're doing as well. And we're going to fade out with a little bit more of My Town, simply because I like it.
That's perfectly fine. Thank you very much.
And I just got one thing to say. It's my town, it's my town. It's my town, it's my town. It's my town, it's my town. They might hate you from time to time, but I'm just proud to say you're mine. It's my town, it's my town. It's my town, it's my town. It's my town, it's my town.
The Boobytraps are back there, My Town, but some interesting new stuff. Kevin Gaughan, first time you would have heard Alone Again. Don't play the next one. The first time you would have heard the new stuff there.
Yes.
So, pretty impressed with the vocals on that.
It was gorgeous, wasn't it? It's beautiful, subliminal. Sublime, even.
Subliminal.
No, it wasn't subliminal, but it was sublime. It was really nice. Yeah, it's really good to hear them back, actually, to be honest.
Yeah, a different lineup. And I didn't know this. He talked about obviously being into dance music, and he's got a synthesizer player, and they're going to do some dance mix versions of.
Oh, that sounds nice.
So that would be good. That'd be quite good for Strawberry Fields, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that'd be brilliant. I do like a bit of synth as well, don't you, John?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I do like me synths. Yes, indeed. We've got some tracks to play out with, and some other things to talk about. Now, you got the title of the Colville gig slightly wrong earlier.
Yeah,
there's a festival called Tea in the Park, but it's not Tea in the Park in Colville.
No,
it's usually up in Scotland.
Was that your Scottish accent,
No, it
John?
wasn't. No, I can do a Scottish. I spend quite a lot of time in the studio with Alan Young. A Scottish footballer. So
Aye, man.
Aye. So it's Party in the Park in Colville, and you've got the dates. The dates are?
The dates are the 27th and the 28th of June,
and we've been asked on the 28th of June to put some local bands on. So we've been, who shall we have? And we had a list of about 10 or 11 or 12 or...
Yeah, we had quite a few.
And we've narrowed it down a bit. We're not going to give it all away tonight, but we kind of like... Why don't we play a couple of tracks by a couple of the people that we might put on?
Yeah, that sounds lovely. And that'll remind us about them as well.
Okay. Now, this band I saw at Strawberry Fields, actually.
Oh, right.
I think I interviewed them for the first time when they were on there. And they do like to drink a lot of beer.
Yes, I remember I saw them at their first ever gig, actually. I think it was at the Abbey in near Abbey Park. And yeah, they do like their beer and their football-y friends and stuff and all that. And they do get the crowd going now, I have to say.
They do. They're called the Tennysons, and this is a track I really like, actually. Called Where'd You Get Your Money From? Like that song, actually. Where'd you get your money from? From the Tennysons, local music show, myself, John Sinclair, and Kevin Gaughan. We're thinking about Party in the Park coming up at the end of June. The bands will be playing on Sunday the 28th. So put that in your diary. A couple of the bands we want to play tracks from. we're not saying they're definitely going to be on Party in the Park. I don't know what to call it now. Party in the Park. But it's just an excuse to play some other tracks.
Yes.
So you pick the next one. What's the next one then?
Oh, the next one's from our old friends that we've had on the show a couple of months ago. Young band called Casino Empire.
Okay, I forget which track we picked now. Which track did we?
Shine On.
Oh yeah, Shine On. Nice track.
Come on, we've never been so tight. Fading across the empty lands, you can see the pain, and I can feel your shame. Shine on, the fire's getting hot. Shine on, the fire's burning hot. Shine on. Now hold it, finger tight. They will get you through the open door. Watch it, they're coming through the floor. They can see the pain, and I can feel your shame. Shine on, the fire's getting hot. Shine on, the fire's burning hot. Shine on, inside of me. Shine on, I find it hard to see you. Shine on, whoa, shine on, whoa, shine on. The fire's getting hot. Shine on, the fire's burning hot. Shine on, inside of me. Shine on, I find it hard to see you.
I'll tell you what, Kevin, I want to put that band on live. That is so good.
It is beautiful stuff.
And that bit of kind of instrumentally Beatlesque kind of background.
Yeah.
At the end there, that
Sort
was
of
very good.
some symphony orchestra type. Well, strings, I think it was, wasn't it?
It's good to have been back for a week, to be honest, Kevin.
Great.
I've enjoyed it.
Great.
We'll figure out what we're doing next week. At some point in the week, we're going to go to a gig together, we've decided.
Yes.
So spot us as a gig competition. Coming up this weekend. Anyway, we're going to go out with a group called The Fours. Another candidate possibly for Party in the Park.
Yes, another band that I love as well.
But put June the 28th in your diary. Get to Colville. And here's scenes of yesterday from The Fours. Thanks for listening.
Thank you.
Thanks to the Boobytraps and to George Simpson for joining us on the programme. See you next week, same time, same place, here on Hermitage FM. Ta-ra, bye.
Everyone's talking about the scenes of yesterday, when everything good in life caught a plane